Mario Gosselin. He drops back about 3 car lengths. But he was having that problem a couple of weeks ago trying to stay with Anderson on the restart, but it looks like he is not letting him lose sight of Anderson.
Well, he's right there where he can learn a lot. You can learn a lot racing behind a guy with the talent and the experience of Dickie Anderson.
And a good battle behind them for the third spot. John Crow in car number 38 out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, driving the Jackaroo Chevrolet Monte Carlo, running third. And then we've got the 37 car, Larry Raines in fourth. But right now we're watching the 2 leaders, Dick Anderson in car number 92, and Gosselin got into the back bumper of Anderson, got that car sideways, scattered it back up, and he did not lose the position as John Crow and Larry Raines were coming on hard, Mark.
That showed a lot of talent to be able to correct that car. That car was almost completely sideways in the corner where it's slick. And John Crow made up a lot of room, but you got to give Mario Gosselin all the credit in the world for saving that car.
And Mario Gosselin didn't lose that much ground. In fact, he looks like he's reeling Anderson back in again.
Right, he may have just gotten a little bit impatient on that move because he is gaining on Anderson. Maybe he just needs to bide his time a little bit.
In talking to Dick Anderson before the race, he was kind of undecided how he wanted to set his car up. He had a little bit of a push this afternoon in practice, and he wasn't sure whether the racetrack would tighten up or not. So he didn't know whether to loosen the car up or leave it with a little bit of a push and see that if the car would loosen up later in the race, as he did at Anderson 2 weeks ago.
Well, he guessed right. The car is not exactly perfect, but he can drive it when it's a little off.
And we're looking at the third place battle between John Crow and the Jackaroo Barbie Sauce Chevrolet Monte Carlo, car number 38, the young rookie out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. He had Larry Raines out of Cummings, Georgia, in the Palmetto Training Chevrolet Monte Carlo, car number 37. But now it looks like Crow has been able to open up a pretty good advantage over Raines in the 37 car.
John Crow caught the lap traffic just perfect. Larry Raines didn't. We've got another situation right here of a young driver and a veteran battling against each other.
And running in the 5th spot in the number 71 car is Bobby Gill out of Dalton, Georgia. And Bobby has been a 2-time winner this season on the Hooters Cup Trail, so you can't count him out in that number 71 car.
No, and you wonder whether he has actually showed his hand yet. Bobby is normally a very aggressive driver and likes to get to the front. He hasn't been able to get there yet, but it seems like he's gaining on Larry Raines.
Well, he got stuck behind the 9 car in lap traffic and lost a little bit of ground to Raines, but now Raines gets stuck behind. In fact, he's in heavy lap traffic. So the 37 car is on the move as Gill tries to stay with him, as Larry Raines has a lot of traffic to get through before he moves back up on John Crow. So it looks like John Crow has opened up about a half a straightaway advantage now on Larry Raines.
Well, this is what short track racing is all about. This is kind of like a super speedway for the short track drivers, but lap traffic will come into play on any short track, and that's what we're seeing here tonight.
Larry Raines out of Cummings, Georgia, one of the veterans of late model racing coming out of North Georgia. And he has a good run. I know he was happy to start on the pole position tonight.
He needed a good run. He's been a little off this year. He's had little problems. The little 10-cent pieces have hurt him. He's been at the wrong spot at the wrong time on a few races, but he's running real well here tonight.
Dick Anderson still out in front in car number 92 as he begins to pull away from Mario Gosselin in the 10 car. He's just picking his way right through that lap traffic. The leaders are doing a good job, Mark Bishardi, of working this heavy lap traffic.
Right, and there is a lot of lap traffic out here tonight.
Still looking at Larry Raines. That's your 4th place automobile. There's your race leader, Dick Anderson, in car number 92. As you can see, Mario Gosselin has moved out of the picture in the 2nd spot in car number 10. As Dick Anderson has a pretty good interval over the Lake Wales driver in that number 10 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Dick Anderson, after the first half of the season, I know he's got to be enjoying the success that he's been having. It looks like that he's been in a position to win just about every race this year, but he's having some tough luck with that Dodge Avenger. He started out with a Dodge Daytona, switched to the Dodge Avenger for Anderson, South Carolina, so maybe that's changed his luck.
It might have. He said it was a new body he wanted to try. They've been with the Daytona for a couple years. They were with the LeBaron before that, and after 3 years, I think they've got this Dodge figured out.
So Dick Anderson out in front looking for his second straight win. And he was very convincing in the season opener back in February at New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. But he was way out in front, had an engine let go, and that's just kind of the year he had the first part of the year. But now he's out in front trying to put together two in a row. And Mark, he's coming up on some heavy lap traffic. We'll have to watch and see if Mario Gosselin can use that to his advantage as those lap cars, they're battling for position on the racetrack, running side by side.
Right, Dick Anderson right now is just concentrating on the lap cars. He's not worried about Mario Gosselin at all. He can't even see him in his rearview mirror. Now he just has to be smooth and make sure nobody in these slower cars keeps him from victory lane.
Dick Anderson coming down the front straightaway, and Gosselin has pulled in to within a car length or two. He's just out of your picture, but believe me, he's there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the nose of his car there to the right of your screen. There's a black number 10, Mario Gosselin there. You see him in your picture now. He's on Anderson's back bumper as they come off of 4 and head down the front straightaway. Mario Gosselin must have got a good break in traffic, Mark.
Well, we talked about earlier how everything happened to work for Dickie's favor in the lap traffic. Well, that one worked for the second place car. Dickie got held up a little bit, and Mario kicked his way through directly behind Dickie as Anderson did all the work for him. Now we got a lap car that's right directly in the way.
And one thing about it, you know that Mario Gosselin's spotters have got to be talking to him on the radio, trying to keep him out of a situation that Mike Garvey got into.
Right, you can't be impatient in a race like this. Now is when patience has to take effect, and we've got caution on the racetrack. We got a car up in turn 1.
In turn number 1, a car up into, that's the 74 car, Jeff Burkett. And a tough break for him. Looked like he had a good run going tonight, Mark.
All right, but he's right in those styrofoam blocks, so maybe he can just drive it off from there.
And we've got a replay of what happened to Jeff Burkett in car number 74 out of Lake Mary, Florida. Let's go to the replay. There you see Jeff Burkett spinning around backwards, got tangled up with Randy Fox in the Wayne Bo's Tomato Hooters restaurant, Chevrolet Monte Carlo, car number 4. Burkett sliding up into the foam blocks and backs it in there. And those blocks held together pretty good, Mark Bishardi.
He hit hard, but it looks like landing in a pillow the way they just collapsed around the car, bounced off. Maybe we'll see him drive away and get back into this race. If that would have been a guardrail, they'd have been taking that off on the hook.
Well, you got that right, as the wrecker is backing up to the 94 car, so perhaps it might have broke the front tie rod of the car. But that's something that they can repair very quickly, as the tie rod ends are a Heim joint assembly that they just screw off of the tie rod and screw a new one back in and hook it back up.
Right, there's a lot of these parts that they can replace if it's only a minor problem. If you hit that wall as hard as he would have hit it without the styrofoam blocks, they'd have taken that car home in pieces in the trailer.
And we've got 77 laps in the books, and we will be right back with more of Hooters Cup action from Flemington Speedway right after these messages.